everyone! So I wanted to do a book review this month. It's not the current books I'm reading for this month of September. These are just kind of the books um, that I really liked or didn't like. This is just like a normal book review. Mainly of like series is the books review that I'm gonna do, because series, you gotta touch base with a lot of the information that you're taking in. So I don't remember at the top of my head when I read these books, but it's definitely obviously before September. So I really want to touch base with this series, the King of Sin series. So obviously the first one I read was book one, King of Wrath. So this is about Dante Russo and Vivian. This book, I think I want to say I read in the month of May. Yeah. So this book talks about and introduces Dante, which we get a little bit in the other series by Huang, in the last book, Twisted Lies, I believe. Anyways, this discusses Vivian and Dante. This is a forced situation that they find themselves in. Dante is looking for some sort of, I don't know, revenge in a way, but he's being blackmailed, I want to say. So anyways, and Vivian, she lives in this rich, wealthy family, and she's a good daughter. Arranged marriages are kind of a thing and very common when it comes to her. I believe her older sister or younger sister is already in an arranged marriage, and it kind of worked out for her. But you find them kind of battling out, then falling for each other, and then of course he messes up and they grovel. Anyways, let me read the summary. It says, a ruthless, meticulous, arrogant. So this is about Dante. He is very arrogant, very for himself, and I also believe he has a little brother. I'm not sure. That might be something else. I don't know. I can't think. Anyways, billionaire CEO Dante Russo thrives on control, both personally and professionally. He never planned to marry until the threat of blackmail forces him into an engagement with a woman he barely knows. So yes, I remember he was being blackmailed by obviously Vivian's father, and Vivian Lau, jewelry heiress and daughter of his newest enemy, the wife he never wanted and the weakness he never saw coming. So then it introduced her as this elegant, ambitious daughter or character. She's very well mannered, and she also is a dedicated daughter and very determined, to serve for her family. But at the same time, you kind of see the character development where she doesn't want to follow her family. She doesn't want to live by every single suffocating rule that is set there and that standard and expectation that's placed on her shoulders as a daughter to a very wealthy family. So she is a very perfect daughter, and her family's taken into the highest parts of society. So her parents use this blackmail opportunity to kind of see, hey, this is our opportunity to kind of rise up. And I remember being so mad at her dad because he always wanted and had this strong drive to rise to power despite his family, which kind of sucks. Like, that sucks. Anyways, even though she doesn't really think of Dante as, hey, this is my dream man, hey, this is the person I want to be with, obviously eventually she falls for Dante, and from there they have this big, great love story. I honestly thought this was my favorite book for a little bit, until I read about the other characters, and I'll get to that. So that was in May, and I think I jumped to, I want to say June. I read this book, One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake, I think is how you say her name. I could not get the sticker off for the life of me, so I just left it there. This is my first book I've ever read by this author. I've heard good things. I think the thing that really drove me to read this book was the quotes I saw on Pinterest. Yeah, the quotes are everything. Um, I want to say it's like kind of Romeo and Juliet kind of thing. They're not into chapters. Well, they kind of are, but it's like Act 1, Scene 1, or Act 2, you know? So it kind of is like a retelling, but kind of not. If you read it, you'll know. Anyways, I really enjoyed the cover. And then you open it and you see like all this artwork. Like it's very much appreciated. I'm just gonna take the sleeve off. So, this book, I want to say wholeheartedly, honestly, is good. Very good. It's just, it was so hard for me to read and to follow because I'm not used to Act 1 or whatever. I don't know what the word is for that. And there is artwork in here. Like, let me show you. Just kind of so you get the idea of what is happening, what you can envision. I really like that. There's some really good quotes in here. And basically, it's about these two families. They're two rivals. They hate each other. It all started with the father of one family and then the mother to the other family. And both of them in this world that's created have a strive for power, but also being the strongest in a way. There's one family which originated from the father. They're all sons. And then there's another family and they're all daughters. They are like witches, I want to say, but they also sell drugs. So it's like a drug running witch family, but you don't really get. You do, but I don't really remember. But I don't think it was the main focus. That was not the main focus. It was more the main focus of this rivalry, and the youngest siblings on both sides of the family found each other, but also had this strong need to be dedicated and determined to their family. And they both had an understanding of what that was. Eventually, when it was too late, that's when they kind of realized they should have chose their happiness. So you kind of get to know the personality and the characterizations of each daughter, and you also get a lot of the mother. And the mother is this strong woman who kind of has her guard up all the time, who's kind of uptight, but also loves her daughters so much. But you kind of also read about her loving her firstborn more. But her firstborn is really cool. I think her name's Masha. I think that's her like nickname is Masha. So you do read about the oldest siblings as well on both sides. Kind of finding themselves in the same predicament as the two youngest siblings. But they didn't choose what the youngest siblings chose. So you kind of see the two outcomes, two results of what can happen if you choose your happiness or if you choose to be loyal to your family. So that was a really nice read. It took me a while to kind of get there. At times I did find myself bored. It was not a 5-star for me. I definitely love the quotes in here. So let me find one. I remember there was one where I forgot his name. Roman? I think it's Roman. No, that's the second sibling. That is the second sibling. I want to say it starts with an L, but that's the youngest sibling. Oh! Dimitri. Okay, so there's Dima, Roman, and Lev. So Lev is the youngest sibling. Roman's the middle child, and then Dimitri is the oldest. So Dimitri has this love for Masha, the oldest daughter, and it's so beautiful, so beautiful. And he actually was willing to choose happiness over his family, which kind of sounds bad because he still loved his family and still chose his family in a way. But if you knew their standards and the expectations of the family, then you would kind of get what I'm saying. Anyways, he said this quote. I went right to it. He said, If I ever decide to give my heart to you, then cut it out of my chest and keep it somewhere safe where no one else can find it. Keep it locked somewhere. So that's actually what Masha said to Dimitri, because they both loved each other. They both had this love that they had to hide away from their family. So that was something that he said, but it was really beautiful because I was like, oh my god, even though she seems super cold-hearted and like the villain, she still loves. So that was very nice to read about. I don't know where there was a quote that he said to her that literally broke my heart. He was like, I would die for you. Oh, look, this is what he says. This is what he says. He says, I love you. I will always love you. I will love you until the day I die. And if you're the one to kill me, then by all means, you should know, without a trace of doubt, that you will not have turned me away. I will have spent the final beat of my heart loving you, just as I always have. Only you, Masha. So that quote was everything. Because I'm like, everyone wants to hear that dedicated love, you know? Like, no matter what. And I think I read these in August. So I finally went and read second book and the third book of the King of Sin series. And let me tell you, the second book is about, I think, Dante Russo's friend, Kai Young. This one, the book got ruined. I forgot how. But this book, I kind of didn't pay attention to. Like, I kind of like skimmed through it, sped through it, kind of just was like, oh, this is a second book. I very much appreciate it though. So let me just read the summary. She's his opponent in every way and the greatest temptation he's ever known. So reserved, controlled, and proper to a fault, Kai Young has neither the time nor inclination for chaos. And Isabella, with her purple hair and inappropriate jokes, is chaos personified. So I really, to be honest, don't remember. I remember in the Twisted series, it was the same thing for, I want to say, the second or third book. It was with Josh, Ava's brother. I really just kind of sped through that too. Like, I kind of just remember reading it and then not remembering. Anyways, so bold and impulsive and full of life, Isabella has never met a party she doesn't like or a man she couldn't charm, except for Kion. So it shouldn't matter, he's not her type. The man translates classics into Latin for fun, and his membership at the exclusive club where she bartends. Okay, so this is one thing I do remember. I do remember the spicy scenes. I think there was a spicy scene on the piano or in the piano room that I remember that kind of amazed me, and I was like, girl. So yes, that's something I do remember. I do remember that they kind of already were thinking of each other when I started reading. But yeah, this is the second book, King of Pride. So yeah. Alright guys, I had a phone call. Okay, lastly, this is my favorite one of King of Series. I haven't read the fourth one yet, which is King of Sloth, I think. But this is book number 3. This one, let me tell you. King of Greed. This is, I believe, the second chance romance. Yes, it is. So this one was my favorite because I related so much to the female character, understanding her feelings of neglect, she really was neglected, of feeling that abandonment of the closest person that you can possibly be close to, which is your significant other. So I related so much to Alessandra, and I believe so many females in the book talk community also related to her, who have been in relationships where you're not picked first, you know. And it's just that feeling that she was feeling, and as reading it, I really connected with the character. And it's so good when you read books and you really connect with the female characters or even male characters. When you connect with the characters, you're really invested into the book, into the series, into the author's world, into the author's writing, and into the author. So it's really amazing. This one, I I'm pretty sure is gonna be my favorite. I even believe I rated it 6 stars. It was perfectly written. The storyline, the plot, everything was perfect for me. Um, the unrealistic expectation of him literally following her um, on vacation, accepting that she needed space um, in that moment. I really feel like that's very important as I'm maturing, as I'm getting older, as reflecting in the relationship that I am in now. Space is super important, and I am not the person to give space. I love fixing the problem head on. I love throwing out, like putting all emotions, all feelings, all thoughts on the table first before I even get to anything else. I love fixing it here and then. And the relationship that I'm in now, I'm taking and practicing and reflecting on, hey, space is okay. So when I'm reading this and I'm reading about Dominic and he doesn't want to accept space because he realizes the consequences of his actions and realizing, oh shit, like I can lose her. Like I lost her once. Like I'm actually losing her. And he realizes like he doesn't want space. He wants to fix it right now. He doesn't want that possibility. And I understand that, and I also reflect and was invested in his character as well. Because I understand what that's like. I'm that type of person. I don't realize something until I don't want to say lose it, but until I take notice of it, which is amazing because when Anna Hyung wrote this, it was like taking out all the human emotions and reflections that I had. And that's really on a deep level because, like, I don't know, I really appreciated this book because I did cry at some points. The things that Dominic told her, I've heard in my life, and the fact that she had to remind herself, like, hey, like I love him and I want to be with him, but I've heard what he said before, and I get that a lot, and just to point this out there, not to get too personal, but I really want to get personal because this book brought that out in me. I'm in a relationship that I've been in for a while, but I started this relationship when I was only just like a kid, like a baby, you know? And understanding her thought process of when she's like, oh, I love this person, but I have to remind myself I've heard those things before. And as well as for the partner, too, like, because with Dominic, like, he said those things before, but he also never thought in his head he would lose his wife. And that's the same thing that my partner experienced. They think of other things before they really think of you, which is kind of something you need to learn. You know, we're all human, but as we're growing, we grow into different people, I want to say. So it's just something it's a big learning process that me and my partner are kind of experiencing in our lives. And we have people who are around us who keep us motivated and say, hey, like, this is okay to be feeling that way. This is okay. This is something you can forgive, you know? So this book brought out a lot about my personal relationship and also taught me many things and also made me feel not alone. You know, even though they're married, I'm not married, but it showed me that you can even go down to the bottom, and you can still, at the end of the day, still be with the person that you love if you guys are both willing to get on the same page. Like, even though you guys aren't both on there, you can get there. So that is something that this book really brought out in me, brought out in so much in me. That's on a deeper level. On the non-personal level, the spicy scenes were beautiful, like, and funny because it was just funny. And the fact, I think he appeared at the bar one time. I think Dominic appeared at the bar when Alessandra was there, and there was a guy that took her out to dinner, and he was like, this is my wife, she's mine. And I was like, oh, Dominic, you crossed the line, but at the same time, good job. So this book is my favorite out of the series. I love the way that he groveled for her, the way that he fought for her as he should have. And I loved the fact that she was growing into her own person. She forgot who she was for a while. And me knowing and being in a long-term relationship, sometimes the relationship kind of takes over and you kind of forget who you are personally because you're also taking care of another person. You're also figuring them out as well. So that really inspired me to like wake up in a way. So I just really appreciated this book 100%. Anna Hyung really did a great job with this book. This book is everything to me and always will be my favorite. And my favorite second chance romance ever. Like ever. I usually don't like second romances because to me some of them are not done well and not done realistic, but with unrealistic standards and expectations of the writer. So it was just something I really appreciated, something I really, really loved. Um, it's just awesome because the female character becomes such a beautiful, intelligent, and hardworking woman. Um, Despite the devastation that she's feeling when she goes home at night. You also get the past too with Dominic and Alessandra. Like you do get the past of when they met, how they met, what they did, and how in love they were. Everything was just perfect in this book. It was definitely 6 stars. So those are the books. These were great reads. Like these were like amazing, amazing books. I found great quotes in each and every single one of these books. I'm so excited to read book number 4 for the King of Sin series. I really, really don't want it to end. I really don't. I really, really don't. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed my little book review. I will do more book reviews soon, so stay tuned for that. Bye!